at the end when they commandeer the helicopter and they have it like drop them off in the opening, and then the CIA agent rolls up, and then like 50 Marines are all in ghillie suits, like just laying around, no big deal. Choppers come out of nowhere, like, where were you guys 10 minutes ago?
Welcome to A Cast with No Name. We are your hosts. I'm Jay.
And I'm Matt.
This is episode 77, and this episode we wrap up our first James Bond month as we jump ahead 22 years to 1995 with Pierce Bronson's first turn as Bond with GoldenEye. But first, don't forget to visit our website, castwithnoname.com, where you can listen to our entire episode library. We are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, as well as anywhere else you get your podcasts. And as always, thank you for listening, and hope you enjoy the show.
And hey, Coop.
Hey,
Hello.
Coop. Oh, Coop's
I'm here again.
Coop's back.
Here I am.
Yeah. By the way, that is the best, or not the best. It's my favorite Bond song.
Is it?
GoldenEye.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite too?
Yeah,
Coop?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, Christy was asking me about that. She's like, what are your favorite? I mean, GoldenEye's probably up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say top two, probably three. Top three. Yeah, it's good. I like You Only Live Twice from Nancy Sinatra.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah, it makes you go from 6 to midnight
Does
real
it?
quick. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Goldfinger's really good.
Yeah. It's very 60s.
Yeah. I kind of like Tom Jones's Thunderball. I mean, it's so fucking Vegas. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, that and Adele's not bad. I mean,
That's a good one. Skyfall's good.
Billie Eilish did okay. Sam Smith did okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've gotten better
Yeah.
as time progresses.
I
think.
feel like I'm sure it was still a big thing back in the 80s and 70s to do the Bond song, but since and maybe it's just because we're aware of it now, but I feel like
Yeah.
all of them have been pretty popular, especially Adele's. I think that was like number one for a while, and Sam Smith's and Billie Eilish's. Billie Eilish?
Did Madonna do Die Another Day?
Yeah, that's not good.
I remember it was very popular, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the time.
For the time.
Yes.
It's Madonna. Yeah. But did you know GoldenEye was written by Bono and The Edge?
I saw that, yeah. And thankfully performed by Tina Turner.
Thank God, yes. I was thinking that would have been terrible. That's why.
Yeah, Bono performed it. It would have just been like 3 minutes of douche just falling on the screen.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
When was the last time you seen it?
Probably 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
about you? Yeah.
It's been
Maybe 10 plus years for me.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years.
Yeah.
I think, since I've seen it all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah. I still liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Do you think it holds up?
Certain parts do.
Yeah.
More than others, but yeah, I think it's still very solid. Especially, 95. I like the practical stunts in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some scenes where there's, some CGI sort of things, but it's nothing like...
Oh, but they have a lot of miniatures in this, though.
Yeah, they do.
Which is good. Like the satellite scene at the very beginning of the movie and everything. To where you can kind of tell that's miniature, but yeah, you have a lot of that.
Yeah.
Older filmmaking stuff in it, which is fun.
Very much so. And I didn't realize that, what?
I'm opening up my book of notes, and
it's blank.
I have Live and Let Die, and then I have GoldenEye right over here, and nothing underneath it.
That's fine.
Well,
I've seen it so many times that, like, when I watch it again, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember, like, beat for beat, scene for scene for the most part, so I didn't really write anything down.
So with this, this was the first Bond movie in like 6 or 7 years because the last one was License to Kill. And there were lawsuits and everything else kind of wrapped up in the beginning of the 90s that kind of prevented another Bond movie from taking place. So once the lawsuits were settled, then they had to kind of reinvigorate the franchise. They brought in Martin Campbell, which was his first time directing a Bond movie. He's directed 2. The other one was Casino Royale. So he kind of reinvigorated the franchise twice.
They went back to him.
Yep. they wrote the movie. It's first post-Cold War Bond. So,
yeah, because GoldenEye obviously is it based off an Ian Fleming book?
nope.
Yeah.
No. The only reference to Ian Fleming really for GoldenEye was that's what Ian Fleming called his Jamaican pad or his house or his estate that he had in Jamaica. He called it GoldenEye. But that's,
really?
That's where they got the title from.
Interesting.
But they just happened to call the satellite that. But so they originally wrote it thinking that Timothy Dalton was going to be returning as Bond, but so much time had passed that Timothy Dalton was like, "Yeah, I'm done." So they got Pierce Bronson to do it, which he thought his time was past because they wanted to get him for The Living Daylights, but he thought he was going to be able to because he was on the show Remington Steele at the time, and NBC canceled it. And then I don't know if people were upset that they canceled Remington Steele, but then NBC kind of heard that, they want Pierce Bronson as James Bond. Well, maybe, and then they kind of thought, well, maybe we were too quick to cancel Remington Steele after 3 seasons. And
so they picked up another season?
They picked up 4 more seasons.
Oh, wow.
And preventing him from going to do James Bond. So then they went and got Timothy Dalton, who said, okay, yeah, I'm finally old enough to do that. And
okay.
so he did his too. And then so Pierce Bronson thought that he wasn't going to
be able to play him
because he thought the time had passed. And Chris Columbus, who worked with Pierce Bronson on
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Uh-huh. According to him, he gave his 2 cents to the producers of the Broccoli family and everything. He said, you should probably get Pierce Bronson. He would be good. And so he takes a little bit of credit of having, I'm sure he was, if Pierce Bronson was in the running before, he was going to be in the running again.
So they took advice from the Home Alone and Miss Doubtfire guy?
And why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
He's a franchise king.
Box office gold.
Yeah. Home Alone, Harry Potter.
Yeah. Home Alone 2.
Harry Potter Part 2.
Yeah. Wow.
So a little bit of background from that. So it was, so it was originally written with Timothy Dalton in mind. So that's why it's kind of more darker. It's not darker, but more still on that serious kind of tone. And it's the first post-Cold War, so we're no longer in a Cold War with Russia. That has passed. And no longer a thing, which they kind of
they touch on that
in the story.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting because Russia was kind of always like they kind of separated Russia from Spectre in the movies a little bit, but because in the books it was SMERSH, which was a Russian organization, and then Ian Fleming wrote Spectre to kind of separate it from Russia. But Russia was always up until that point kind of lingering in the background as far as being obviously not an ally, but with it being the Cold War, they were easily the go-to villains for that kind of stuff, especially with spy movies. But
Russia's always lingering in the background.
Absolutely.
Just hanging around.
Yes. Yeah, so I haven't seen License to Kill or any of the Timothy Dalton movies. So to go from Roger Moore to this, I didn't remember there being so many one-liners in this movie. There actually are a lot.
Oh, there's one-liners in every...
I know, but there's a lot in this
It's
one.
a little bit darker tone, though, so it doesn't, like, pause for audience laughter,
No.
so it doesn't really hold you up too much, yeah.
No, it doesn't marinate in it.
Right.
It's kind of, he says it and then it's on to the next thing.
Yep.
And I think I noticed this watching it this time around, especially backed up with Roger Moore, is... Pierce Bronson, I think, is probably the funniest Bond.
He might be.
Or not the funniest as in campy or anything, but he's the best at delivering humor in the role. There's a couple of things, like his line delivery, I think, is better as far as how the one-liners go. I watched this on Wednesday. Thursday, I watched the next one, Tomorrow Never Dies. Then after that, I watched The World Is Not Enough. And then on Sunday, I watched The Living Daylights and then No Time to Die. And Timothy Dalton and Daniel Craig cannot deliver one-liners.
Yeah.
But Pierce Bronson is always like, even in his 2 next movies, he was better. Like he was just more comfortable delivering that, or like his tone or the way his cadence, I think, just lent itself to that kind of thing, to where they turned into more throwaway lines, which you don't really notice. Some of them are very hard written, as far as like, that's an obvious one-liner kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But not even just with the one-liner delivery, but like the little things that he does, I think makes Bond a humorous, like somebody with a sense of humor, but also a serious side. Like when he's in Q's lab, and he's like sees a computer, and he's just kind of like just fumbling on it, and Q just kind of looks at her. He's like, "You finished?" She's like, "Huh? Oh yeah," and he like shuts it. Like just like
his cadence is just on point. What sticks out to me is when he's talking to M, and he's talking about Xenia on a top, and he just kind of stops for a second, gives her a little side eye and a grin, and then just keeps it moving with the conversation. You know, It's like you either catch it or you don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's really good in that. And he's good at. I mean, he's a good actor too.
Yeah. So. Well, I thought he's a good physical actor too. Mm-hmm. Like when he's in pain or struggling, or like I was like, okay, I believe that. Like Roger Moore, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's a stark contrast between those two. Because when he's fighting somebody, I actually believe, okay, he could probably fight.
Yeah.
Just the way he looks and carries himself, it looked good.
Yeah. And yeah, he has like he has grimace when he's exerting any kind of activity. And but yeah, that is a good point. He is better at the physicality. He's better at selling that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's definitely all, like I would probably say he's I was going to say the best all-around Bond as far as being able to do the kind of humor and everything else. Not so much close to the book, but no, I mean, I think he was pretty good. His later movies, like he did 4 of them. The first 2 were great. The last 2 they start turning into camp.
Oh, like really?
The Die Another Day with the windsurfing.
Yeah. I remember
stuff. And I mean, all of it may not be his fault. I mean, a lot of it probably isn't, just because everyone was using computer graphics at the time. But no, I thought his first 2 movies, definitely, and GoldenEye specifically, I think he did really good. I
think there's an argument there. He might be at least for this movie in particular, might be the best portrayal of Bond. Up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely up there. I think this is one of the, in my opinion, GoldenEye is probably one of the better Bond movies. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what were some of the things you liked about it, Coop?
I definitely liked Bronson's portrayal. Maybe it was just the darker tone of the movie, or the way he personally played the role. But I also liked that the script kind of got right into the storyline. We kind of see a snippet of him as a younger agent when he runs into Sean Bean as 006. And then they kind of play out a little bit of his past, and then it fast forwards to the future. Now he's a more seasoned character, a more seasoned agent, and how he kind of looks at things from a new perspective, more so than when he was first starting out. Mm-hmm. I just like the way that the story kind of developed from there, because you get that little snippet of how he used to be versus how he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of the better cold opens.
Yeah.
I love the cold open.
Yeah.
Although rewatching it,
yeah,
this is not a nitpick either. This is blatant, just geographic error.
Yeah.
He base jumps, not base jumps. He bungee jumps off of
a dam.
Yes. Goes all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Goes further down into a bathroom.
Yep.
Punches the dude out.
Yep.
Then they're running around. How did they get back on top of the mountain?
They climbed all those stairs. They just didn't show
shit's
it.
on the stairs.
They just didn't show it. They made their way all the way up there.
I needed a cutscene of that. Just like them cutting to the stairs. They run up, and then like 5 minutes later, like that little SpongeBob thing, and they're just like, oh, fuck. Oh, gosh. Huffing and puffing, sweaty as shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Well, you could argue,
and that's a nitpick.
Yeah, at least you know that that cliff would exist because there was a dam, so there was an elevation factor involved, I guess. But I don't know. It is one of the. I think the cold open is amplified because of the game. Because that's what I instantly think of when I see the whole cold open. I think of the first level of GoldenEye on 64.
Every time they would go to a certain scene, I'd be like, I remember playing that level.
Yeah.
I remember that level. Yeah, for sure. That's why this movie kind of resonates with me more, just because God knows how many hours I spent as a kid playing that game.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played the game as like just the campaign version of it. I think every time I played it was just multiplayer.
Yeah.
But which I think I have it, but I just never got around.
I was kind of hoping you'd have that broke out as a surprise for us tonight when we showed up.
Oh, it's right over there. We can hook it up. Takes all of 2
seconds. Have you played it?
Oh yeah.
No, I mean like lately.
No.
Oh god, it's not good. No. After playing like
not a good time,
doesn't
Bob.
give you the feels or anything.
After playing Halo and Modern Warfare, it's a little dated, but it's still good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's the summary of this movie?
The summary of this movie? Oh, it was like the plot is concerned?
What's the plot? In case people haven't seen it.
Years after a friend and fellow 00 agent is killed on a joint mission, a secret space-based weapons program known as GoldenEye is stolen. James Bond is assigned to stop a Russian crime syndicate from using the weapon.
And that weapon is GoldenEye.
That weapon is GoldenEye.
Yeah. What did you think of? Do you like that plot? I think it's a pretty...
Yes. I mean, because at least recently, a lot with the Daniel Craig movies, there's never... and it started... I mean, they had a little bit of it in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Bond goes rogue, does his own thing. So he meets up with Draco, does his own thing. I'm sure there's a movie that I don't remember because of trauma from Roger Moore that probably does something similar. License to Kill is pretty much that. Bond just goes off for a revenge plot. And then Bond starts to kind of go rogue and The World Is Not Enough, and then Die Another Day. I feel like he's just totally rogue. Casino Royale. He's doing a mission. Quantum of Solace kind of goes rogue. Skyfall goes rogue. Spectre goes rogue. I mean,
he's going rogue.
And it's the same thing with like Mission Impossible, to where the rogue half the time, to where I like simple plots for Bond movies. I like the meeting with M. Here's the mission. This is what you have to do. This is what you can't do. Now go do it. Because I mean, it's a nice setup for each story. But they haven't done that recently with most of the Bond movies. So I like it just simply because it has that scene in there to where it's just the simple setup, and then you go. Why? Are you not a fan?
No, I am.
Oh, okay.
I liked how simple it was. It wasn't like overly complicated at all. Sometimes they get a little crazy and outlandish with the evil intent of the main villain. Yeah. I don't think this is pretty simple.
Yeah.
You know, they use I guess old technology. I know it's newer, but obviously the satellite has been up there for a while. Mm-hmm. They just need to activate it. And I was reading reviews. People are upset that like, oh, he just wants to rob or steal money. I'm like, yeah, that's
what?
Like the prime motivation of most people.
Well, James was like ridiculing him. He's like, you're just a bank robber. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Of course,
for millions of dollars. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got me. I don't have a higher purpose.
Right.
And I actually thought that if they made this movie, not this movie, but if that was the plot point or the device today, it would be even more impactful because 30 years later, like, God, everything is. I could not imagine if the grid went down. In any people lose their shit when like YouTube goes down for an hour.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Imagine if like the grid, the actual electrical grid, like you couldn't access any communication, your bank accounts, anything for like a day.
Days. Yeah.
It would be fucking chaos.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that'd be kind of a fun movie.
It would be.
It'd be almost like Sum of All Fears, almost like when they had the nuclear bomb go off. But like but no, that would be a great.
Because in '95, no one had cell phones, really. They weren't widely distributed. So would it be
Oh,
yeah, it would suck, but I don't think it would be as crazy as it would be.
No, I mean, a lot of people didn't even have personal computers.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't drive anywhere because anything with solid state in it would be gone. So and I think solid state was like the 70s when they started coming out with that for automobiles, and so you would have that. And I think that would be the biggest disruption is like, oh, you can't drive anywhere. You don't have power.
Yeah.
So refrigerated medicine would be an issue, which they probably want to touch on that.
Food,
food, spoiling and shit like that. But,
yeah.
But no, that would be
crazy.
They should bring back GoldenEye.
They should.
That'd be a good movie.
Yeah.
Just have like the second half Bond running through like a fucking wasteland of shit.
It would
no power anywhere. And
it would be like The Walking Dead. Like everybody just shooting each other over a can of green beans, shit like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would actually be kind of like if they went back to the continuity of this main continuity to where someone got GoldenEye back up and running and just set it off in a major city.
Yeah.
And then Bond had to go back and get all of his old fucking gadgets because now your cell phone, which is the main Bond gadget anywhere now, is completely obsolete, and he's just left with those things, which would be kind of funny. But.
Yep. I liked the Bond girl.
Which one?
She's pretty good. I liked them both.
Yeah.
I thought Famke Janssen, Xena Onatop.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Hilarious last name.
Yeah. Like they sat down and was like, okay, let's think of something kind of cheeky for this. Like,
yeah. No, I like how they didn't make her like. She was believable. She wasn't like I don't know.
Who, Famke Janssen?
Yeah. It wasn't like I'm trying to think of an example of like when I think of like Angelina Jolie's Laura Croft, I'm like she's 5'3" and like she can't kick ass. I'm sorry. She weighs 120 pounds.
She filled out the bra.
Stupid.
That's all it took for her.
Famke Janssen, I can believe it. And they gave her the additional attribute of being a pilot. So it's like, okay, she's intelligent, or at least she's useful.
Yeah.
So she has a skill that's useful.
Yeah. This is like purpose to the plot other
Yeah.
than to
look good.
Yeah, look good and bang James Bond or not bang James Bond.
Right.
This is like the first James Bond movie that did that, and even the other girl was like a computer programmer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They weren't just bimbos that were floating around James.
Yeah.
Like they had separate purposes besides orbiting him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What was her name? Natalia had a purpose of being there at the end. That made sense. Yeah. Other than being hot and
walking around
arm candy to be walking
Cuba
around
or wherever the satellite was.
Yep.
No, I like Natalia better than Famke Janssen just because now Onatop's physicality was believable.
Oh yeah.
It's a ridiculous thing, but it kind of makes sense. You can kind of almost feel like that suffocation, or imagine how that would play out. But
I can believe it on the fat colonel. Like I believe that because that guy's out of shape.
I mean, she's got to have long legs, though.
Yeah.
She probably does, but it's the movies. I guess they can always be longer. But it's just the cartoonish whenever she comes from shooting people. She's like,
even the general looked at her like, "What the fuck is going on right now?"
I was like, if I was a general, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not having her. Like, she seems unstable. Like she's ejaculating.
She could turn on you at any second."
Yeah. I was like, God, but I mean, some of that shit was kind of cartoonish for me, and I don't know, it felt more 80s than it did. I don't know. It felt slightly out of place, but it didn't ruin anything.
No. Jeez.
But
it felt like it was in line.
Yeah. No, I thought the acting across the board was good. Alan Cumming as Boris.
Yeah.
Great.
He was good.
Yeah.
Small role, but I mean, I feel like first time I saw it, he was one of the people that people remembered.
Yeah.
I mean, he was unique
out.
enough and did a good job with that role.
Had the typical Russian accent.
Yeah.
Very thick. When I was watching it, I was thinking, did they really sound like that? Is it that thick? I don't know.
I like.
I think it's the way that we think they sound, but it's not really.
I think
they
probably sound like they're speaking Russian because everyone in this movie is just speaking English, like no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no accent, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they named him Boris too. Like, really, guys, there's no other Russian guy name that you could have called this guy. Just Boris.
Boris,
right,
last name Karloff. Just. The guy who played the Colonel, good. I mean, everyone I think did a great job.
Yeah, I remember being a kid watching this, thinking that the moment when Sean Bean came back, and he was the guy like funding the whole thing or running the whole. Like, oh my God, what a plot twist. You watch it again, it's like, oh yeah, of course. Like, they're setting it up for that to happen. Yeah,
I have a distinct...
You can see this from a mile away.
This is the first Bond movie I saw in theaters. And unless my parents took me to License to Kill when I was a kid, and I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But that was 89. I doubt they would have taken me. I don't know. I don't think
you wouldn't sit through that. What were you? Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so, but...
No. What were you, 6?
5, yeah, 6.
There's no way.
I mean, I sat through Last Crusade. That was in theaters. That was the same year.
What kind of kid were you?
I don't know. But they didn't take me to Batman 89, though.
Yeah.
They
more likely to sit through that.
They said because, well, it's not meant for kids, which... I think they probably just said that because they wanted to go to a movie without me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the main reason. But so
wait, what's better for kids? A James Bond movie or Batman 89?
James Bond is rated PG.
Wow.
The new ones are rated PG-13.
The 89 Batman looks a lot darker than it really is too. So they might have seen the advertisement or something and thought,
maybe
not for
I still
kids.
Think they
I
just
don't know.
wanted to go see a movie without me. It's
probably
their date night.
Yeah.
Which I could see.
Sure.
But anyways, this is the first one I remember seeing in the first Bond movie I remember seeing in theaters. And during that scene when, spoiler for 20, 30-year-old movie, when Sean Bean comes out of the shadows, like I remember before he was revealed, I remember some guy in the theater saying, it's his old partner. Like before,
in case anybody missed it.
No, it was before he was revealed, so he's like calling out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And,
even better.
But I still remember that, and
everybody threw popcorn at him.
Which to this day, even though every time I see that scene, that voice pops into my head. Like, it's his old part.
Yep.
But
one thing I never understood about the movie, maybe it was a plot hole, was why Alec was so upset that he reduced the time to 3 minutes to give him that, like, it's like, he gave me 3 minutes.
It wasn't part of his plan.
Right. Well,
it wasn't part of the plan for him to get caught either, but here we are. You got to make a move.
What? No. I mean, he was upset, I think, at Bond because he thought he had more time.
Mm-hmm.
But he lessened the time because Alec just got shot.
Yeah.
So he's like, I got to get out of here and blow it up sooner. So I just didn't understand why he was upset for that. Like, what did you want me to do?
Well,
I thought you were dead.
Why did he care? Like, yeah, I mean, Sean, yeah.
He held a grudge for it.
Yeah, you're dead. I'm saving my ass.
Yeah.
What do you think was going to happen? Yeah. Also, you're the bad guy, so, fuck your opinion anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but
I think it was just a means to set up the escape from the train. So he could say, I gave you the same time, the same 5 minutes that you gave me, just so they could say that line.
Yeah.
And so he could say, we have 3 minutes.
Sean Bean did live all the way to the end of this movie, though, which is pretty shocking, right? I mean, doesn't he?
The satellite crushed him.
Yeah, till the end. He lived till the end, yeah. Normally, I feel like he dies
he usually dies
pretty early
He
on.
does.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Or midway through. Yeah.
Or in the very first season of one of the best shows ever made. My favorite character.
What a scam.
What a fucking...
Yeah. I was like, there's going to be an arrow coming in to intercept this or something, right? And no, nothing happened.
Nope.
Yeah, they just let it happen.
Boo.
Yikes.
Yeah. How many movies has he died in? It's like him, and I forget the other actor that he has like a running... Because someone was like, because I remember like in the mid-2000s, everyone was saying, no one's died more than Sean Bean. And God, I wish I would have found out the other person's name. But someone was like, such and such. And then you think about it, like, oh, fuck, that person died a lot too. And it's like a running total between those two as far as the ones that died. But I mean,
I'm going to be honest. I only know Sean Bean from this movie, Lord of the Rings, and Game of Thrones. I've seen him in a bunch of other stuff, but those are the ones that stand out. And he dies in all those.
Was he was in Shit, I want to say Heat, but I know that's not right.
No, he was in
Robert De Niro and the robbing a bank in Europe.
Oh, Heist?
I don't think that's it. I'll look it up. Hold on. I got to find out who's died more than Sean
Ronan?
Bean first. Yeah, Ronan.
There you go.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So
He doesn't die in The Martian. I just watched that this weekend.
Yeah, he doesn't die.
Oh, I don't even remember him being in it.
Yeah, he's the flight director of the Hermes. But no one dies in that movie, so there you go.
Yeah. Another Ridley Scott movie that is okay.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, you're such a fucking bitter.
He's the worst brother.
It's tough. It's tough to hate The Martian. A feel-good survivor story. It's fine. I don't know.
Well, my mistake is I read the book before I saw the movie. So,
Oh, okay.
which I tend to do the reverse because the book is usually better.
Normally, I
Yeah.
agree with you.
But yeah. So we have Judi Dench being M. For the
She was
first
good.
time.
Yeah, she was good.
She's good. And she was a good character. So we talked a little bit about, I think, either On Her Majesty's Secret Service. In an earlier episode, we were talking about, if Bond was made a different race or made a different gender, would it affect it? And, I mean, it worked out pretty well for M. Mm-hmm. But, of course, M, I mean, you can do that with side characters. It's a lot easier to do it with side characters.
Yes.
But they say that they put her in charge of that now, so she is a different person that just carries the M moniker.
Correct. Yeah. So because they made reference within the movie that she is a different, so it's not the original guy.
I got to tell you too, though, I think that gives precedent for what we were saying before, that James Bond is also a different person.
No.
Because in Dr. No, 006 goes missing. James gets sent to investigate. Well, now in this movie, 006 is Sean Bean. So somebody else has had to replace him.
And that's the thing. The call sign, their call sign is interchangeable because there's 00.
But we think that but we think James Bond is not a code name. We think it's the same
That's
guy.
his real name.
Okay.
And 007 is that can
The
be
code,
interchangeable.
okay.
So because you have 9 00s, and as one dies, then you replace them. So, at least that's the way it should be. Damn it. But yeah, Judi Dench.
And it's also Judi Dench.
Yeah. I know.
So
they fucking killed it with.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's easier to replace side characters by like gender swapping or race swapping, but also it's Judi Dench.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like one of the best actors alive to ever do it. So it'd be different if they replaced them with like just somebody you've never heard of that did an okay job. It's like why would you do that? Mm-hmm. But if Judi Dench comes up and it's like, hey, I'll play him. Like, what are you gonna say?
Yeah.
No.
I kind of want to watch. I'm halfway there. I want to watch all of Bronson's era and all of Craig's era to see how her character, because there's slight changes the way she plays M. Even though, I mean, I feel like she does some slight changes once she gets into Daniel Craig's era, to where, and maybe it's written that way, but she's more of a maternal figure to Bond as opposed to more of a boss in the Bronson era, which I kind of like. But you have Hagrid.
Yeah, Robbie Coltrane.
Yep, makes an appearance.
He's awesome. Probably the funniest scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm. And Minnie Driver.
Yeah, Stand By Your Man.
Who's strangling the cat? Huh?
I love when she tries to hit the high note and they zoom in on Robbie Coltrane's face and he's like just disgusted. It's like, shut up.
What are some things you guys did not like or did not think held up? Hold up?
I thought the scene on the, like when they traveled to, is it Cuba?
Yeah.
Is that where the dish is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some one of those islands.
Yeah.
The scene where he's pondering his thoughts on the beach and then she comes to like, I even forget the dialogue. It's like, you don't need to like, you have to be more careful or whatever she was saying. But the whole time I'm like, well, he's a spy.
Yeah.
That's kind of his job. So this is stupid. And then it was kind of like melodramatic and like, didn't age that well.
That and you guys had a couple days just to
relax,
just to hang
bounce
out
around on the beach. Well, it's like get a little R&R before we.
Of course.
Like I thought it was like we need to get here quick, and then they get there like, well, I mean, we got time.
Yeah,
plenty of time.
Time zone changes.
It's in the secret agent union that you only have to work 40 hours a week, and then you get.
Yeah. I thought there was definitely a plot hole. Like, if there was a satellite on this island, we would know about it. I would agree with him because could you imagine trying to build that fucking satellite?
It's huge.
Like underwater. You'd have to remove, dig the fucking hole, remove the water, so that you could place it in there.
Man-made lake.
Well, yeah, but that's a huge undertaking.
But you would see them building this man-made lake. Like you're not going to be like, well, we need this giant. Like, what are you building this giant hole for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like the CIA would know that something was going on, something fishy.
Yeah.
At the end, when they commandeer the helicopter, and they have it like drop them off in the opening, and then the CIA agent rolls up, and then like 50 Marines are all in ghillie suits, like just laying around, no big deal. Choppers come out of nowhere, like where were you guys 10 minutes ago?
Yeah. It's good timing.
No help. Okay,
thanks a lot, Jack.
Swoop in to take the credit for it. We saved this Brit and his broad from.
Yeah.
Quick, let's pop out while they're about ready to bang.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
I made reference to it last episode.
Yeah.
Best use of the Bond song.
It's very good.
The scene. So, like, in the past, he's walking through the lobby, he's cutting an apple, playing the Bond song or whatever. This one, I think they probably use it one of the best times out of all the films. It's when they're in Russia and they kidnap Natalia, and Bond is trapped in the tank parking lot or whatever, and like the car turns and then crashes through the wall, and then you have the Bond theme going or whatever. I think probably one of the best uses. For
Great scene.
He's like drifting the tank.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great scene.
Yeah, like fucking doing that, and then after like the whole thing is done, he just kind of like adjusts his high.
And then when he goes for it, like it ramps up from the thrust. Yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't like. I hate the just so happens to be there moments where he's getting evaluated by MI6 in the car, and then the lady he's just so happens to have to be investigating drag races him. Like, stop with these just so happens to be moments. Like, you don't need to do this. It's so dumb.
But that's
it's like, oh, that's the Ferrari that was drag racing me. What a coincidence.
It's a trope. I don't think you guys like James. You hate the one-liners. You hate the
I don't hate the
car
one-liners.
driving at the beginning.
These were the best delivered one-liners.
Yeah.
Thus far. Yeah.
You just don't need that, though. Mm-hmm. You don't need the...
Well, it's fan
You need
service.
a little comic relief, yeah.
I mean, just like going through Q's laboratory and seeing funny shit happen, that's a trope.
That's fine.
Seeing, doing the racing with the lady in the car, that's a trope. The one-liners, obviously, a lot of tropes.
Right.
I like that the Russian mobster, vodka martini, shaken, not stirred, right?
Yeah.
Kind of threw that back at him.
Yeah, I don't mind the one-liners or the cue, the gadget tropes as much as the just so happens to be there moments. I despise that. That is lazy shit. Hate it. Just throw it out.
It's fancy.
You don't need it. Or at the very least, go to the casino first to investigate her, and then follow her, and then a drag race ensues. I don't know. You could carry the trope that way, but the just so happens to be there moments are it's just lazy. Yeah. It's lazy, stupid.
What do you guys think of the cars?
I thought they were nice. Yeah.
I know you're not much of a car guy.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention to it either, yeah.
Every time, because most of them were like Aston Martins. This is the first BMW movie. And whenever I see one of the cool, License to Kill, or not, Living Daylights and No Time to Die had the V8 Aston Martin Saloon. It was like a 74 version. And they had a similar body style and honor match seat. Anyways, whenever I see a Bond car, I'm like, I'm going to look that up, see how much that is, to see if it's happens to be cheap. This is the cheapest car I've seen, that BMW M3, the convertible, the light blue convertible or whatever. You can get it for like 10 grand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All the Aston Martins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no chance.
Fucking
Yeah.
100,000
Yeah,
at
easy,
least. And
yeah.
then there was one, he had a Series 3 Land Rover in No Time to Die, which is the most recent one. It's just a Land Rover convertible, like it came out in the 70s. It's like 100 grand. And I'm like, that's a fucking...
No big deal.
So like the...
Just tax dollars hard at work for these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you want a Bond car, this will be the cheapest one more than likely.
Okay.
10 grand. You gonna buy one?
No.
Murph could buy two.
It's a girl's car. I'd rather have a Miata. You know, a man's car.
Absolutely.
But no, that was just, I don't know. Every time I watch I'm always like, oh, are those cheap yet? Nope. I'm still not in the 1%. So
Yeah. Well, me either.
of course, then if you drove them too, it'd be like driving a 40-year-old car, which
Yeah.
could probably be out-handled by a Corolla.
I appreciate nice cars when I see them, but I literally could give a fuck about cars.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
When people jizz over like explaining how much, like, did you just it's got a Hemi 500 horses, it's great, goes from 0 to 60 in 3. Like, dude, I
See all that stuff.
Could
I
care
don't
less.
understand. I just like the way they look, and if they're fun to drive, that's
yeah, definitely. Like when I see a nice like Lamborghini or like you said an Aston Martin that I know is $250,000, I'm like, yes, that's a
Sure.
nice car.
You have an appreciation for it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, my eyes glaze
Or
over.
a giant yacht.
As soon as someone starts talking about engine displacement or specs or any of that other crap, I'm just like, looks nice.
You lost me. It's probably the same feeling that you get when people start just diving into sports. You just tune out.
What?
That's how I feel when people dive into cars.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's good. The how would you guys rank this as far as the movies? I bet I know, but as far as the movies that we saw,
This for sure was my favorite.
better than Live and Let Die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
Easiest question that I've been asked all month.
As far as the Bonds, like the actual actor, how do you think he ranks?
In this movie in particular, he's, of the ones I saw, he's probably my favorite one this month. Yeah.
Him or Connery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I would say, yeah, I don't know.
Of the ones I saw.
Of the ones you saw.
So Goldfinger I haven't seen in a while. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I would like that.
compared to the characterization from Dr. No to On Her Majesty's Secret Service
Yes.
to this one I would say, he feels complete. Of course, yeah, they've had 30 years at this point.
Yeah. I would say Brosnan's GoldenEye, Connery's Dr. No, Lazenby, and then Roger Moore to round it out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I recommend it.
Same.
It's good.
Yeah, I recommend it too.
Are we just going to watch all Roger Moore's next November?
Fuck no. We're going to have to at some point because we got to get them out of the way.
Yeah. Get it out of the way November. That's what we're going to call it.
Well, there's a thing on Reddit that a bunch of virgins do. It's called No Nut November.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of it?
I've heard of this.
Okay. So
Not
Is
participated.
this like Sober October?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Sober October,
Yeah.
and now it's like No Nut November. So we could call that No Nut November
Sure.
for next year, and just watch all the Roger Moore ones because no one's going to be nutting during that time.
Absolutely not.
No.
What is it? Literally, what it means? No nut. Like you just abstain from sex.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't know
Pleasure
what
in
it's
yourself?
for. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what is Sober October for? Who knows? Just people want to abuse themselves. Bunch of masochists.
well, I think half the population could probably be successful in No Nut November.
That's why I
from the
say
stats that I'm
virgins do
seeing.
it because, like, if you're married, why would you do that? If you have a
Yeah.
relationship, why would you do that?
I don't
You're
know.
living alone by yourself. Doesn't matter. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Just take out your old cock and balls and just get
Just fucking knock them around a little bit.
Just knock them out a little bit.
It's just some bowls and some cock.
Oh, he's got a nice one. Just bring it over.
Come over here. Let me
that's
see that nice big
That's
juicy
an
hockey.
oldie but a goodie.
Me and Jay were listening.
For those people who don't know what we're referencing, it's Adam Sandler, What the Hell Happened to Me. I highly recommend you go listen to it front to back.
Oh, why are you bending over down there? why don't you just play their cock and balls? You got a nice set.
Just play with your cock and balls for mama.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, it was
we got the Ozarks and we were listening. I was like, I haven't heard this in a while. I'll see if it's still funny.
Yeah,
sure, hilarious. Yeah.
The sun is setting. We're enjoying a beer as the sun sets over the Ozark Lake, and we just have it blaring on our Bluetooth stereo. They're just cock and balls.
Echoing across the lake.
I bet people would like walk outside to smoke a cigarette or enjoy the view, hear you guys, and just turn around and go back inside.
Well, we started off by listening to The Longest Pee. Do you remember that one?
Oh my God!
Oh God! Oh God! Just a minute.
I'm probably gonna have to go home and listen to this now.
It just gets progressively crazier. Man, that's funny shit.
One of my favorite skits was the goat.
The goat.
We listened to the goat.
Yeah.
Did Toll Booth Willie?
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'm coming out of the booth.
Yeah. Oh, great one, you fucking jack. Got my Louisville fucking slugger.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch anything else this week? Besides the assigned homework?
All the Bond movies.
Yeah.
Well, the Bond movies that are listed prior.
Yep.
I think that's about all I
We started Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah?
It's not that bad.
No. What episode are you on?
We're on 2.
Oh, okay, cool. We should watch that.
Yeah.
Okay, in tandem.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Jay, get in on this.
I already saw it.
The whole thing?
Yeah. Well, not the whole thing. So Christy and I finished the first season, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago or something. So it's a nice whodunit.
Yeah.
I like Martin Short.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do too, yeah.
So
Watch Mission Impossible. I was on a spy kick.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah. That's
the first one?
Easy to get on a roll with, yeah.
It's such a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I love Brian De Palma, too. I like his style.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's much different than the other Mission Impossible movies. That's why I like it. It stands out. It's good.
Yeah. I need to watch Carlito's Way again. It's been
another good
years since I've seen it. It's probably been 20 years since I saw that movie.
I actually just watched The Untouchables like 2 weeks ago. So good.
So good.
It's awesome.
Enough of this running shit.
All right.
All right. Well, that's it.
What are we doing next time, Jay?
Join us next time. How would you rank this Bond movie with the Bonds we talked about? Let us know in the comments.
Please?
And while you're in the comments, why don't you just play with your cock and balls? All right. Before
It's going to be a much like cock and balls, just cock and balls comment. I would take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get demonetized forever with our tens of views.
Yes.
All right. So join us next time. We are going back to doing a top 5 list.
We haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
We are going to be talking about our top 5 most overrated movies.
Yes.
That we've seen.
Cooper, going to get in on this?
Absolutely.
You want to?
I've got a few that come right to the top of mine.
Okay. So
this could be anything.
Yeah, anything. Movies that we've seen, obviously. But movies that were more like the way I'll probably approach it is movies that were recommended to me.
Yeah.
And that I watched, or that movies that everyone was praising and that I watched and was complete dog shit.
Okay.
Just the worst fucking thing you've ever saw. Gladiator.
No. They need to tune in.
Sorry, I thought we were going.
No.
All right.
Well, you're wrong. So we can argue about that next week. That's the dumbest.
It probably won't be on my list because I barely remember any of it.
Right.
Just
because you're
rewatch
afraid if you
Just
watch it
it
again,
you're gonna love it.
like,
No, it's a long movie, isn't it?
It's like 2 hours and 20. It's
Yeah.
like your standard movie.
You can watch it in pieces.
Fucking Russell Crowe.
Look at the Irishman.
He's
It's
fine.
3
Just
hours and
forget
20
that.
minutes long.
Yeah.
But it's Russell Crowe and Ridley Scott. Like, that's a tag team of...
Hey, you like
It was a
Alien,
good
right?
It was a good
I
combination.
loved
of those.
Alien.
You like The Martian, right?
It was all right. Martian was fine. Matchstick Men was pretty good.
The movie that he just came out with 2 years ago or a year ago with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and Jodie Comer,
the Long
Adam
Night,
Driver?
The Last Night,
The Last Duel.
The Last Duel.
That's a great movie. That's one you'd like, I think.
There was, I want to say there was another movie. It was Matchstick Men,
Yeah.
Alien, The Martian, and there's another movie that he did that I thought was fine.
What an ass.
Fair to Midland.
It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways,
Yep,
that's next week. Top 5 most overrated.
Till next time, Jay.
Till next time, Matt. Till next time, Coop.
Till next time, boys.
See you, Coop.
See you guys.
Bye.
Hope you find your dad.